You didn't stumble here by mistake. This moment has your name on it. Out of the billions of souls in this world, you are meant to hear this right now. That's not luck. That's alignment. You felt it, haven't you? That stirring in your spirit. That feeling that something bigger is pulling you forward, even when everything around you seems uncertain. That's not imagination. That's purpose knocking. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. You are marked for something massive. And no, it's not too late. You haven't missed it. In fact, you're right on time. So take a deep breath, lock in, and open your heart. Because what's about to unfold could shift the course of your destiny. This is your activation moment. Let's go. Some of you didn't just stumble across this moment, you were summoned. Your spirit's been nudging you, whispering that something big is shifting. And now confirmation has arrived. This isn't casual, this is urgent. And before we go any further, I need you to respond in faith. If you feel this word pulling at your soul, hit that button, lock in with this message, and type 55 in the comments. That's not for hype. It's a sign to heaven that you're awake, alert, and aligned. You're stepping forward when others are sleeping through the call. We're not entering a season of small change. We're standing at the edge of a full spiritual eruption. And it's not in theory. It's already begun. Something divine is unfolding in the spirit realm, and it's spilling into everything around us. Relationships, finances, dreams, energy. This moment was marked long before you were born, and now you're walking into it. The unease you've felt, the pressure that's been building in your life, that wasn't just hardship, that was alignment in motion. This isn't a tweak, it's a transformation. And not just external. I'm talking about internal fire that rewires your entire assignment. This is what all those long nights, closed doors, and unanswered prayers were preparing you for. You are stepping into the part of the story where the page turns and destiny gets loud. You are not here to play defense. You are here to occupy territory. If you've been touched by God's grace, let that light shine. Click the super thank you button and sow a seed of $100 or more to fuel a movement of faith and transformation. Your giving is more than a gift. It's a declaration of His abundance. Be a channel of His blessings and watch His work multiply through you. The earth is groaning. The atmosphere is vibrating. Storms are no longer just weather. They're signals. There's movement beneath the surface, and your soul feels it. If you've been tossing in your sleep, seeing strange patterns, or sensing an invisible pressure, trust that it's not your imagination. The veil is thinning. You are not being haunted. You're being handed a new level of divine insight. There is a cosmic realignment taking place, and you are not a bystander. You've been chosen as a vessel, one with clarity, with courage, and with calling. But that means you can't walk into this next chapter holding on to the weight of the last one. Shed the fear, drop the doubt, and stop waiting for someone else to validate what God already stamped inside you. What's coming is disruptive. For the world, yes, but for the chosen, it's confirmation. You've felt the turbulence because your assignment has been shifting into full activation. The disconnection, the spiritual exhaustion, the moments where nothing made sense. All of that was the signal that your old operating system is being overwritten, and now the upgrade is complete. You've been calibrated for something you never expected, but you were born for it. You're about to move with authority, not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. Your peace will carry weight. Your words will start to stir conviction. Your presence will feel like truth. Why? Because heaven is putting its mark on you in public, for what you carried in private. Make no mistake, there is a battle underway, not just between nations or people, but between clarity and confusion, awakening and distraction, truth and illusion. And your ability to hear God in the noise will determine what you build in the storm. This is the time. The signal has been sent, and you've been chosen not just to watch the shift, but to lead it. This is a moment of undeniable awakening. There's no more time for contemplation, masked as caution. The days of waiting for confirmation are over. Now begins the season of decisive motion. What lies ahead will upend every familiar idea about right and wrong, forcing clarity where once there was comfort. Those marked for impact can no longer waver. Silence has expired. The cosmos leans forward, awaiting response, while the earth pulses with unrest. This isn't a time to witness history. This is a summons to forge it. There's a voltage humming in your chest, not to paralyze, but to propel. That inner pull, that sacred agitation, it's recognition, not confusion. You weren't made to echo empty noise. You were shaped to shift atmospheres. There's a pulse inside you that's not random. It's recalibrating your mission. What once felt like a weight is now revealed as a torch. The virtual realm has become a maze of shifting illusions. In a world where screens shine brighter than stars, trust is being redirected, not by chance, but by design. And behind the veil, forces move, rerouting hearts from higher truths. But not all wanderers are lost. Some are strategically placed. You're not here to blend in, but to break patterns. The very circuits designed to distract can become arenas for awakening when guided by clarity. This isn't a call to retreat. It's a charge to repurpose. You were positioned in this era on purpose, not accident. Your talents, your trials, your timeline, they're not detours. They're deliberate. What you hold inside isn't just potential, it's provocation. And while the battle ahead may demand your all, it will also activate your deepest strength. Fire doesn't just burn, it forges. The pressure isn't punishment, it's preparation. This is your alignment with the reason you were born. Difficulty is not a deterrent, it's a signal. Every barrier you face confirms the force you carry. Resistance is a reaction to relevance. When shadows tighten around you, it's not because you're losing, it's because your glow is spreading. Confusion, weariness, and relational strain aren't signs of failure. They're signs that you're advancing. You're a disruption to every lie that's held ground for too long. And the intensity you feel? That's because your steps threaten structures. Feel the weight, but don't mistake it for weakness. The strongest foundations are shaped under pressure. This path is a proving ground, and with each test, you're tempered. Let your weariness become your wisdom, and your discipline become your deliverance. The presence backing you doesn't flicker with emotion, it anchors with intention. Beneath the surface of digital noise, a quiet inversion is spreading. It's not always loud or obvious, but it's deliberate. Forces work behind coded curtains, spinning narratives that dilute clarity and redefine conviction. They don't wear badges or raise flags. They manipulate aesthetics, rebrand truth, and make integrity seem outdated. These tactics are precise, designed not just to challenge beliefs, but to erode them subtly. But for those awakened, deception doesn't seduce, it activates. You're not just informed, you're ignited. The signal you carry disturbs the schemes that hide behind charm. They prefer the unaware. They fear the unshakable. Their influence is crafted to feel like freedom while chaining perspective. But truth, when carried with conviction, unravels illusion. This confrontation isn't fantasy, It's unfolding. Don't shrink. You weren't made for hiding. You were born to dismantle shadows. Some are shaped not just to witness change, but to reshape what dominates the current era. And that includes mastering what others misuse. What connects can also confuse. The very circuits that could elevate truth are too often hijacked to dilute purpose. Information flows in waves too strong to ride passively. They pull hearts away from intention. The surge of data, images, and suggestions becomes a fog that clouds instinct and mutes clarity. It's not random, it's by strategic design. The more you engage blindly, the less you respond boldly. The feed isn't just feeding, it's forging identities. But that same mechanism can be reversed. If used with discernment, it can echo conviction louder than noise. Platforms don't have to become prisons. They can be turned into pulpits. Action guided by depth, not dopamine, can realign the purpose of the digital. Impact isn't about withdrawal, but redirection. The tools in your hands were never neutral. They respond to the will that wields them. Creation can crush confusion. The surge that once silenced can now amplify. Influence is a forge. Either you're molded by it, or you're using it to shape the moment. Conflict isn't always declared with banners and blasts. It often erupts in invisible realms that test the soul before the senses. It manifests not in open combat, but in the quiet erosion of courage and clarity. This unseen battle targets your alignment, not your limbs. Every hesitation, every moment of disconnection isn't just a lapse, it's a tactic. Peace gets pierced not through chaos, but through subtle corrosion. Yet there's provision. You've been issued tools not forged by hands, but by heaven. Anchoring truths, resolute conviction, depth of presence, vision sharp enough to pierce illusion. Each act of resistance sends tremors into shadowed camps. You're not unarmed. You're not exposed. The systems against you tremble not at your strength alone, but at the authority you carry. Doubt may try to disguise itself as logic, but the voice above calls you by destiny, not deficiency. Victory isn't the prize ahead, it's the platform under your feet. To retreat into ease is to trade your influence for illusion. This moment demands your clarity, not your comfort. Exhaustion lately has worn a different face. It isn't just about long hours or fleeting rest. It's a soul-level depletion that seeps in quietly. Invisible pressure cloaks the day like a second skin, weighing down the moments meant to uplift. These aren't random waves of fatigue. They're strategic siphons, forces designed to dim your pulse by dulling your perception. Discouragement doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers until it rewires your resolve. But energy is essence. It fuels how you pray, how you show up, how you shift space. When that stream gets contaminated, perspective decays. Doubts grow where clarity once stood. The remedy is vigilance, curating your internal climate with fierce intent. Detach from what drains, restore through sacred rhythms. The environment around you is more than aesthetic, it carries weight. Guard your emotional frequency like a gateway. The aim isn't to scare, but to sober. Your direction can't afford to be derailed by slow erosion. Reclaim alignment through intention. Deepen resilience through spiritual calibration. The opposition can't erase your role, but it will do all it can to erode your endurance. Rebuild it daily. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, It's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. Truth is being repackaged, and many are mistaking glitter for glory. Persuasive voices are gaining ground, not through depth, but through charm, wrapped in performance. These figures echo spirituality, but their foundation is shallow and shifting. The illusion is subtle. They avoid correction, offer ease, and peddle inspiration that costs nothing but dulls discernment. Applause becomes the altar, and influence overshadows integrity. The deception isn't loud, it's attractive. What's offered as revelation often lacks refinement and roots. This isn't a new tactic, it's just wearing a modern mask. Messages that flatter more than they sharpen are meant to pacify, not purify. The call now is not just to steer clear of distortion, but to confront it head-on. Look deeper than the delivery. If the message feeds ego more than it awakens spirit, it's a distortion. Courage is required, not to condemn people, but to correct patterns. In a time when everyone wants to speak, the need is for those who still dare to listen to the whisper of truth before they echo it. There is no shortage of voices, but there is a scarcity of vessels. The elements aren't malfunctioning. They're echoing a deeper message. The atmosphere is acting like a mirror to the unrest unfolding beyond what eyes can trace. Disruption in the natural world isn't just chaos. It's a coded signal. Something greater is stirring, pulling back the veil between dimensions. Every collapse, every fracture, every storm is not random. It's reverberation. The universe groans like an orchestra, waiting for its conductor to rise. These aren't merely shifts. They're announcements. They call not for fear, but for formation. The horizon isn't unraveling, it's awakening. The shifting ground beneath your feet is asking you not to run, but to ready yourself. These tremors are not empty. They are loaded with instruction. It's time to recalibrate. Position isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Every signal in creation is summoning those aligned to take their place, to lift what's fallen and speak where silence has lingered too long. The signs don't ask for spectators. They require response. Purpose is not passive. Those who carry weight in this time weren't crafted for observation, but for occupation. The tension of the moment demands builders, not bystanders. You weren't shaped to sidestep the struggle, but to speak into it, shape it, and shift it. The collision isn't just global, it's internal. The disruption begins in the private corners of the heart and ripples into the world through action. Every small response, every movement fueled by alignment, contributes to something larger. The fire you felt wasn't for warmth, it was for work. The proof you've waited for is embedded in this moment, calling you into the reality you were made for. Power isn't about status, it's about surrender. You don't have to carry credentials to carry authority. Legacy isn't built by popularity, but by perseverance. Impact is measured in obedience, not applause. There is no distant arrival. The front line is where your feet stand, and when you step in purpose, resistance becomes irrelevant. You don't await awakening. You are the spark that starts it. Some will awaken not through noise, but through illumination that pierces from the inside out. A defining encounter is nearing, an impression imprinted in silence, arriving when attention is uncluttered. It might come as an unexpected spark, a sudden clarity that sweeps through the soul like a tide no longer willing to wait. This light won't speak in riddles, it will settle questions you never dared voice. Insight will crash into you like a key fitting a long-locked door, opening not only understanding, but motion. Fear will lose its grip because this clarity doesn't suggest, it commands. The signal will be unmistakable. When it comes, don't explain it away. Reflect, record, respond. This is not a projection of hope. It's a directive etched into your essence. It's not merely a dream, it's a compass forged in eternity. And as others grope through shadows, the radiance you receive will become a path for them too. That moment isn't just revelation, it's initiation. The shift has already begun, subtle, unspoken, but unmistakable to those tuned beyond the surface. The stream of direction flows consistently now, but not everyone feels its pull. Those who do must respond with motion, not just reception. There is guidance embedded in the ordinary, a glance, a pattern, a pause. It comes not with fanfare, but with force. And each alignment matters more than it seems. This is not a moment for indecision or delay. What flows through spirit now must become steps on earth. If ignored, clarity fades. If followed, destiny advances. Distractions will multiply, but so will awareness for those attentive. Each yes opens gates. Each no to noise increases capacity for insight. This is not about spiritual sensitivity alone, it's about spiritual discipline. The invitation is already in motion. The question is no longer whether it's real, but whether you'll keep pace with it. You won't be warned twice. Silence has become rare in a world obsessed with motion. Yet within that stillness lies the kind of power that doesn't need volume to be felt. The culture demands speed, but purpose demands stillness. Focus is no longer optional, it's critical. The internal urgency you sense isn't fear, it's the echo of divine timing. The tactic isn't destruction, it's distraction. And the more scattered your gaze, the dimmer your direction becomes. Grounding isn't retreat, it's readiness. Let sacred words recalibrate your inner compass. Let presence become your protection. Let clarity become your rhythm. If everything is urgent, nothing is. Choose what truly matters. Don't be pulled in every direction, because you're called to walk one path. Discernment is oxygen now. What's loud isn't always what's true. This is your signal to recenter. In the midst of echo chambers and endless noise, your calm will be the counterweight. And in that quiet conviction, others will find their own resonance. You are not simply navigating life, you are embodying a frequency crafted beyond the confines of time. Beneath your skin is more than biology. It is divine architecture built to house force, not fragility. You are an extension of something vast and holy, a living channel designed not to echo the ordinary, but to command the atmosphere. Your presence is not background noise. It is a deliberate signal meant to disrupt stagnation and awaken hearts. The fire you carry is not symbolic. It is spiritual technology, coded with power. Walk into a space, and inertia breaks. Lift your voice, and chains lose their grip. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Shrinking serves no one. Hiding delays what heaven has authorized. The sacred pulse within you is not faint. It's thunder, wrapped in silence. You are not the sum of your shortcomings. You are the revelation of divine design. Let go of hesitation. Let your origin rewrite your outcome. The world isn't starving for more potential. It's starving for people who understand what they truly are. Divine voltage in motion. There is nothing accidental about your placement. The timing, the tension, the trials, they were all catalysts, not coincidences. What others called delay was preparation. Your voice was tuned in private before it would carry impact in public. The storm that nearly broke you shaped the sharpness of your influence. You've arrived at a moment where your internal construction matters more than external validation. Every scar is a seal, proof that you are being set apart. The friction you felt wasn't to punish, but to prepare. The underestimation wasn't failure, it was concealment for preservation. Now, the atmosphere is shifting, and your activation is required. The potential within you has reached a threshold. It will no longer stay silent. This moment isn't asking for perfection. It's demanding power. You are a force against stagnancy, a breaker of patterns, a catalyst for generational realignment. Your calling stretches past applause. This is a ripple meant to reach beyond your lifetime. When you step fully into that understanding, strongholds that stood for decades will shatter at your arrival. If you've been touched by God's grace, let that light shine. Click the super thank you button and sow a seed of $100 or more to fuel a movement of faith and transformation. Your giving is more than a gift. It's a declaration of His abundance. Be a channel of His blessings and watch His work multiply through you. What's moving in the shadows is no longer trying to hide. It's parading, shaping structures, and infiltrating with precision. The cultural shift is not gradual, it's engineered. Systems are rebranded with language that comforts while it poisons. The dismantling of moral anchors is celebrated as liberation, but beneath the surface lies an agenda fueled by distortion. This isn't a shift, it's a siege. And yet this is not a time for panic, but for positioning. You weren't born to retreat under pressure. You were born to counter it with sacred resilience. Discernment is no longer optional, it's armor. The deception doesn't roar, it smiles. The threat doesn't always scream, it seduces. That's why clarity must now become your compass. If you're waiting for ease, you'll miss your moment. Confront the compromise, even if your voice cracks. Shine where silence is demanded. The resistance is not formed by noise, but by those rooted in truth. The tides may rise, but so will those who carry fire. The weight of this moment will not crush you, it will confirm you. The charge isn't to fear the dark, but to pierce it. There's a generation being equipped not with swords, but with signals. In an age shaped by screens and instant reach, influence flows through fingertips faster than through pulpits. The tools once crafted for entertainment have become channels for awakening. The digital space, once a playground for distraction, is now a battlefield for truth. It's not about platforms, it's about purpose. Every image, every caption, every moment shared is an opportunity to plant clarity where confusion grows. There is no need for titles when you're carrying transmission. Even in the flood of noise, voices aligned with light cut through like frequency breakers. What was meant to dull awareness can now ignite awakening. Use every tool with intention. A single post, when sparked by alignment, can detonate healing across hearts you may never meet. The point was never popularity, it was always impact. Don't wait for permission to use what's in your hand. Transformation isn't coming from the stage, it's coming from the scroll. The exhaustion many feel isn't just physical, it's spiritual erosion wrapped in routine. There are subtle fractures forming in the foundation of focus, created by the constant pull of emotional clutter. These aren't accidents. They're carefully placed gaps draining momentum from your core. It starts with small shifts. A forgotten prayer, a compromised boundary, a shrug where conviction once stood. Left unchecked, those gaps widen into rifts. But restoration is not out of reach. There is recovery in recalibration. Intentional solitude becomes strength training. Aligned input refuels depleted vision. Your internal state is not separate from your purpose, it drives it. Every thought you guard, every influence you cut, every act of spiritual maintenance returns power to your posture. You don't need to burn out to prove your dedication. Guarding your peace is part of your assignment. The clearer your inner world, the sharper your spiritual authority. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's strategy. Stay charged, stay aligned. You carry voltage, and when fully lit, you become a threat to everything seeking to dim you.